The clock is ticking. With 5 months left for the UPSC Prelims 2025, it is time to take steps today to accomplish success tomorrow. Get ready to test, assess and navigate through your UPSC goals with the All India GS Prelims Open Mock Test 3 on 5th January. Aiding aspirants step up their preparation, this open test is a unique testing medium to bring aspirants to par with the UPSC CSE competition nationwide. Simulating the exam-like pattern, get ready to face the UPSC prelims with full practice and confidence. Attempt it from anywhere within the 2-hour test window with features such as All India Ranking, Post-Test Analysis, Complete coverage of UPSC prelims syllabus, Live test discussion. Test date 5th January. Timing, link will be active from midnight till 11:59 p.m. Mode, online only. Available in English and Hindi.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. An earthquake of magnitude 7.1 struck Tibet in the Himalayas. Supreme Court directs timely filling of vacancies in central and state information commissions. Union Home Minister inaugurated the BHARATPOL portal developed by the CBI. World's first Cryo-Born baby corals successfully settled on the Great Barrier Reef. The USA experiences extreme cold events due to polar vortex. An advisory group under India AI Mission releases report on AI governance guidelines development.
In our first news for the day, an earthquake of magnitude 7.1 has struck Tibet in the Himalayan region, a stark reminder of the seismic vulnerabilities of this geologically active zone. The Himalayas remain one of the world's most geologically active zones with a history of significant earthquakes. To understand why, let's first look at India's seismic zoning map, prepared by the Bureau of Indian Standards or BIS. The Himalayan region primarily falls within Seismic Zone 4th and Seismic Zone 5th. India is classified into 4 seismic zones, 5th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd, where Zone 5th is the most seismically active and Zone 2nd is the least. But why are the Himalayas so prone to frequent earthquakes? First, the tectonic collision of the Indian and Eurasian plates is a major factor. The Himalayas lie at the convergent boundary of these plates, where the Indian plate subducts beneath the Eurasian plate. This generates immense stress, which is released as earthquakes. Second, the region is crisscrossed by active fault lines, such as the main central thrust and the main boundary thrust. Sudden slips or movements along these faults often trigger earthquakes. Third, the Himalayas, being a young mountain range and structurally unstable, amplifies seismic activities. Their geological youth contributes to the region's heightened vulnerability. Now, let's explore the consequences of earthquakes in this region. One significant impact is landslides and avalanches. The steep terrain exacerbates these phenomena, causing infrastructure damage and loss of life. Another concern is glacial lake outburst floods or GLOFs. Earthquakes can destabilize glacial lakes, resulting in catastrophic flooding. We also see tectonic uplift and faulting, which can cause sudden changes in elevation, impacting ecosystems and human settlements. Finally, the region's rich cultural heritage faces risks. Ancient monasteries, temples, and other cultural sites are often damaged or lost. So, how do we move forward to mitigate these risks? First, we need stricter building regulations to ensure infrastructure is designed to withstand strong earthquakes. Second, there is a pressing need for regional collaboration. Himalayan countries must share knowledge, resources, and technology to prepare for and recover from earthquakes. Other measures include developing early warning systems, increasing public awareness of safety protocols during and after earthquakes, and investing in research and risk mapping. In conclusion, the Himalayas' seismic activity serves as a constant reminder of the importance of preparedness and resilience. Strengthening our strategies can save lives and preserve this unique and culturally rich region.
Moving on, the Supreme Court has issued a significant directive concerning the timely filling of vacancies in central and state information commissions. This comes in response to a public interest litigation highlighting delays in filling these positions despite a landmark 2019 court judgment in Anjali Bharadwaj versus Union of India. Let's take a closer look at the Supreme Court's key observations and directions. At the Central Information Commission or CIC, there are 10 sanctioned posts for information commissioners. However, currently the CIC is functioning with just a Chief Information Commissioner and 2 Information Commissioners. Meanwhile, in the states, most have initiated the selection process for the state information commissions, but they lack clear timelines for appointments. The court also emphasized the importance of diversity in these appointments, as mandated by the 2019 judgment. It stressed that information commissioners should be selected from various walks of life, not just the bureaucracy. In its directive, the Supreme Court has instructed the Department of Personnel and Training, as well as state governments, to establish detailed timelines for completing the selection process and issuing appointment notifications for information commissioners. Now, what are the concerns arising due to defunct information commissions? Vacancies in information commissions have led to an alarming increase in pendency. For instance, in West Bengal, the State Information Commission would take an astounding 24 years to dispose of a complaint filed in 2022. Adding to this, there's a noticeable decline in proactive disclosures under Section 4 of the RTI Act. Shockingly, 44% of RTIs are filed to access information that should already be publicly available. Several defunct information commissions, such as those in Tripura and Jharkhand, do not contribute to addressing the backlog. The Supreme Court's directives are grounded in a series of important judgments related to the right to information. In People's Union for Civil Rights versus Union of India 2004, the court recognized the right to information as a fundamental right under the Constitution, which laid the foundation for the RTI Act. Then, in Subhash Chandra Agrawal versus Department of Personnel 2010, it clarified that the office of the Chief Justice of India falls under the RTI Act. Lastly, in Namit Sharma versus Union of India 2013, the court affirmed that the Information Commission is a tribunal with quasi-judicial functions, similar to a court. These developments underscore the urgent need to address the inefficiencies in the functioning of information commissions. The Supreme Court's intervention marks a critical step towards ensuring accountability and transparency in governance.
In a significant milestone in India's fight against crime, the Union Home Minister inaugurated the BHARATPOL portal, a groundbreaking initiative developed by the Central Bureau of Investigation or CBI. This portal promises to enhance India's law enforcement capabilities, particularly in international cooperation and crime control. Now, let's delve into the details. The CBI, which serves as the National Central Bureau or NCB New Delhi for Interpol in India, will manage this portal. BHARATPOL's launch introduces 5 key modules aimed at streamlining operations. First, we have the Connect module, which enables all Indian law enforcement agencies to function as an extension of Interpol's NCB New Delhi. Next, the Interpol Notices module facilitates a scientific mechanism to swiftly locate criminals, both within India and globally. Moving on, the References module simplifies the process of seeking and providing international assistance for investigations abroad. The Broadcast module ensures the immediate availability of requests for assistance from 195 countries. Finally, the Resources module facilitates the exchange and management of documents as well as capacity building initiatives. Now let's talk about the potential benefits of this portal. BHARATPOL will act as a unified platform, streamlining collaboration among central, state, and union territory law enforcement agencies. This is particularly important as it addresses the rising threat of transnational crimes such as cybercrime, financial fraud, human trafficking, and organized crime. Moreover, with access to Interpol databases, officers can analyze data more effectively, develop targeted crime prevention strategies, and apprehend criminals with greater efficiency. Another major advantage is that the portal will simplify the process of extraditing convicted criminals from foreign countries to India, making international justice more accessible. Now, a quick look at Interpol itself. Founded in 1923, Interpol is the world's largest international police organization. Headquartered in Lyon, France, it comprises 196 member countries. Its primary purpose is to facilitate global cooperation among law enforcement agencies to combat international crime. Among its key functions are issuing alerts like red notices, maintaining databases on criminal activities, and supporting member countries with training and resources. With the inauguration of BHARATPOL, India takes a bold step forward in strengthening its law enforcement infrastructure, ensuring better coordination in tackling transnational crimes and enhancing global cooperation. In an extraordinary achievement for marine conservation, the world's first cryo-born baby corals have been successfully settled on the Great Barrier Reef. This groundbreaking advancement, led by Australian researchers, marks a significant step forward in coral conservation and restoration efforts. So, what exactly are cryo-born corals? They are created using cryopreservation techniques, which involve freezing coral cells and tissues at very low temperatures. Coral cells and tissues naturally contain water, which forms damaging ice crystals when frozen. To counter this, cryopreservation uses cryoprotectants that remove water from cells during freezing and support cell structures when thawed. The significance of this breakthrough cannot be overstated. One major benefit is its potential to enhance climate change resilience, with the project aiming to deploy millions of heat-tolerant corals onto the reef annually to combat the adverse effects of rising sea temperatures. Moreover, selective breeding is another key advantage. Cryopreservation allows researchers to bypass the natural limitations of coral spawning, which occurs only once a year. This method enables selective breeding and allows colonies to be used for reproduction multiple times, thereby accelerating restoration efforts. Now, let's take a closer look at coral reefs themselves. Corals are invertebrates from the class Anthozoa, phylum Cnidaria. They form reefs by creating colonies of polyps that secrete limestone skeletons. These corals rely on symbiotic algae called zooxanthella for nutrition. Coral reefs are primarily distributed in shallow, sunlit waters between 30° north and 30° south latitude, thriving in temperatures between 16 and 32 degrees Celsius. Typically, they grow at depths of less than 50 meters where light levels are optimal. However, coral reefs face numerous threats that endanger their survival. Climate warming, driven by rising temperatures, directly impacts marine life. Pollution, including contaminants from various human activities, harms marine ecosystems. Oceans acidification, caused by increased carbon dioxide levels, disrupts coral growth. Overfishing depletes fish populations and disrupts ecological balance, while destructive fishing practices damage habitats through harmful methods. The aquarium trade contributes to the problem by collecting corals for home aquariums, and coral mining for construction further exacerbates the issue. Now, shifting focus to conservation measures, India has taken several initiatives. The National Committee on Wetlands, Mangroves and Coral Reefs, established in 1986, advises on conservation strategies. Under the Environment Protection Act of 1986, the use of corals in sand for construction is strictly prohibited. Additionally, the Zoological Survey of India, or ZSI, has employed biorock technology to restore coral reefs. Globally, conservation efforts are equally robust. The CITES agreement lists coral species in Appendix 2 to regulate their trade, and the World Heritage Convention designates coral reef sites for protection. Moreover, the Taronga Cryodiversity Bank, the world's largest frozen coral repository, has been preserving trillions of coral sperms from 32 species since 2011. This landmark achievement with cryo-born corals is a testament to innovation and dedication in the fight to protect one of Earth's most vital ecosystems.
Moving ahead, the USA is currently experiencing an extreme cold spell, attributed to an Arctic blast caused by the southward expansion of the polar vortex. But what is a polar vortex? It is a large area of low pressure and cold air that swirls like a wheel that is counterclockwise around both of the Earth's poles. There exist two types: the tropospheric polar vortex, which forms in the lowest atmospheric layer, extending from the surface to 10 to 15 kilometers, and the the stratospheric polar vortex which forms at altitudes between 15 and 50 kilometers. Unlike the tropospheric polar vortex, the stratospheric polar vortex disappears during summer and is strongest during the autumn season. The impacts of a polar vortex are significant. In the USA, disruptions in the polar vortex lead to an Arctic blast, a sudden and intense surge of cold air which usually keeps cold air confined to the Arctic region. A weakened vortex can also cause the jet stream to dip southward, allowing cold Arctic air to reach lower latitudes and triggering extreme weather events. Globally, the polar vortex contributes to ozone depletion, particularly over Antarctica, where trapped cold air accelerates the formation of the ozone hole. In India, a weakened polar vortex results in more frequent western disturbances, which bring heavy snowfall to the western Himalayas and colder temperatures to northern parts of the country. These events highlight the far-reaching impacts of the polar vortex on global weather patterns and climate. Moving on, the advisory group under the India AI mission has released a report on AI governance guidelines. Under the advisory group's guidance headed by Principal Scientific Advisor, a subcommittee on AI governance and guidelines development was formed to provide actionable recommendations for AI governance in India. Artificial intelligence or AI governance refers to the processes, standards, and guardrails that help ensure AI systems and tools are safe and ethical, and thereby ensuring fairness and respect for human rights. Let's take a look at the key issues highlighted by the report. Firstly, when it comes to deepfakes and malicious content, legal frameworks exist, but enforcement gaps hinder the removal of harmful AI-generated content. Second, cybersecurity. Current laws apply to AI-related cybercrimes, but they need strengthening to address evolving threats. Third, intellectual property rights or IPR. AI's use of copyrighted data raises infringement and liability concerns, with existing laws not fully addressing AI-generated content. And finally, AI-led bias and discrimination. AI can reinforce biases, making it harder to detect and address discrimination despite existing protections. The report emphasizes 8 principles for AI governance. To begin with, transparency is crucial, as AI systems must provide meaningful information about their development, capabilities, and limitations. Moving on, accountability is essential, requiring developers and deployers to take responsibility for AI outcomes. Additionally, safety, reliability, and robustness are emphasized, ensuring that AI systems are resilient to risks, errors, and misuse. Furthermore, privacy and security are key, with systems needing to comply with data protection laws. Moreover, fairness and non-discrimination are highlighted, as AI systems must avoid biases and ensure inclusivity. Human-centered values are also prioritized, ensuring respect for human oversight and ethical considerations. Inclusive and sustainable innovation is another focus, with the goal of distributing the benefits of AI equitably. Finally, digital by design governance is recommended, leveraging digital technologies for effective governance and compliance. To implement these principles, the report recommends forming an inter-ministerial AI coordination committee to coordinate AI governance across various ministries and regulators. The committee includes representatives from MeitY, Niti Aayog, RBI, SEBI, and other sectoral regulators. Additionally, creating a technical secretariat to serve as a technical advisory body for the AI Coordination Committee. Next, leveraging techno-legal measures like watermarking and content provenance to combat deepfakes. And lastly, setting up an AI incident database to document real-world AI-related risks and harms and encouraging voluntary reporting from both public and private sectors. The India AI mission, approved in 2024 with a budget of 10,300 crore rupees, aims to create a robust AI ecosystem through 7 key pillars. These include safe and trusted AI, future skill development, AI compute capacity, and startup financing. The mission focuses on democratizing AI access, improving data quality, and ensuring ethical AI development.
In today's Place in News, we will be discussing Ghana with its capital, Accra. Recently, John Mahama has been sworn in as Ghana's president for a 3rd term. Now, let's discuss its political features. Ghana is a country in Western Africa, located on the coast of the Gulf of Guinea. Before its independence in 1957, it was known as the Gold Coast. The country shares land borders with Ivory Coast to the west, Burkina Faso to the north, and Togo to the east. To the south, it is bordered by the Gulf of Guinea. Ghana has a tropical climate with two main seasons, wet and dry. Its highest peak is Mount Afadza, part of the Aquapim Togo ranges. Major rivers include the Volta River, Black Volta, White Volta, Pra, and Tano. Ghana is one of the world's largest producers of gold and cocoa.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. The Indo-Tibetan Border Police or ITBP has relocated 33 border posts closer to the India-China line of actual control to boost security and operational readiness. ITBP is a central armed police force functioning under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Its motto is Shaurya Dridata Karma Nishta. India's coastline has been recalculated from 7,516 kilometers in 1970 to 11,098 kilometers in 2023-24, reflecting a 48% increase over the past 53 years. Upward revision is attributed to a new methodology to measure India's maritime established by National Maritime Security Coordinator. Karnataka launched the Garudakshi online FIR system to curb wildlife crimes. Garudakshi is a software to enable an online FIR system similar to that of the police department, and it has been developed in collaboration with the Wildlife Trust of India. The Indian Railways has unveiled a monumental engineering achievement with the completion of the Anji Khad Bridge, India's first cable-stayed rail bridge. The bridge enhances connectivity between Katra and the Kashmir Valley and is expected to boost tourism and foster economic growth in Jammu and Kashmir. Union Minister of Labour and Employment and Youth Affairs and Sports launches multilingual functionality on eShram portal. The Bhashini project upgraded the eShram portal to support all 22 scheduled languages. Previously, it only included English, Hindi, Kannada, and Marathi. The Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet and the International Solar Alliance signed an agreement to establish a $100 million fund to support high-impact solar energy projects. Additional initiatives announced include digitalization of utilities for energy transition and Energy Transitions Innovation Challenge. Union Minister of Ports, Shipping and Waterways announced major initiatives to boost the capacity at Kandla Port, located in Kutch district of Gujarat. The port was constructed in the 1950s as a replacement for the Karachi port, which was lost after the partition of India. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description.